That was easily the worst game I've watched all year. Easily the worst product that team has ever given me. Just a horrible game. You played against the Atlanta Dream in a game where the Dream sucked. The Dream had 33 points at halftime, and the Fever had 33 points at halftime. This was a game where both teams looked like high school, junior varsity teams out there. They looked like they did not know how to play the sport that they play professionally. They looked like they didn't know how to play the sport that they always cried that they want to be paid millions to play. They looked bad, both of these teams. And the Indiana Fever were not able to capitalize on the fact that the Atlanta Dream were horrible. They were not able to capitalize off the fact that Ryan Howard had 3 points on 1 for 8 shooting from the field. They were not able to capitalize. And the biggest problem I had with this game, and there were a lot of problems. Kelsey Mitchell didn't show up. Lexi Hull didn't show up. Aaliyah Boston didn't show up, but you can't really blame her because she's not really getting the ball in a favorable position with no Caitlin Clark out there. But the biggest problem I had, though, is that the interior defense was atrocious. That's what we're going to focus on in this video, and we're actually going to start in the third quarter. We're going to look at some offense, mainly the defense, though, because the interior defense was so bad, it's almost laughable. Like, you allow these players to get right to the rim, right past all of your defense, and get easy layups every single time. It happened like 10 times in a row for this Fever team when they were going down 20 points. It is some of the worst defense I've ever seen, one of the worst efforts I've ever seen, horrible coaching. Everything about that game was just bad. You come off a game against Chicago Sky where you looked great, no Caitlin Clark, and you still dogged on them, and then you get this, and it's just like, man, is this team even serious? You talk about a championship contending team. Are they even like WNBA contention? Do you even deserve to be in the league at this point? It was laughable, but we could rant about it all day. Let's go ahead and break down some of the film in this game so you can see exactly what I was talking about. So we're going to start at the third quarter because going into halftime, the game was 33-33, and both of these teams just look bad, and it would be unfair to pick on the Fever without picking on the Dream too, so I'm going to save myself the task by just starting at the third quarter, and this is where things start going downhill for the Indiana Fever, and it starts right here. Alicia Gray coming off of this handoff, easy layup at the rim, and Aaliyah Boston's right there, but Aaliyah Boston is just not there. Aaliyah Boston is right in front of her, but Aaliyah Boston is nowhere to be found. That's the kind of defense you see with this Indiana Fever team all the time, where you have your interior defenders there, but the interior defenders pose no threat. They do nothing. They're not physical. They're not actually imposing a threat to the offensive player, so you're basically getting wide open layups. It's like one of those dummies that people use when they're shooting shots in the gym just to put it in front of you and kind of simulate the defense. That's what our interior defense looks like 9 times out of 10. That is the problem I have with the Indiana Fever interior defense. It's not that they're not there. It's just that they're not actually imposing a threat. They're not actually physical, and they're allowing these players to get wide open layups. And if you were there in the watch party today, you know that this play really irritated me, so I thought I'd break it down for you guys. Look at Natasha Howard. For one, I want you to observe the fact that she has a wide open lane. Cut back door. Cut back door. Why are you not cutting back door? Why is this not encouraged to cut back door? You have a wide open lane. Cut back door. Cut back door. It's a wide open lane. Is it not like enticing to you? Are you not like mosquito looking at the light, drawn to the light? Just cut back door. You're a power forward. You like running the floor. If you have a wide open lane like this, cut back door. But no, she decides to shoot a 3-point jump shot. And what really irritated me was the fact that she has an open 3 off the catch. She decides to not shoot it and do a sidestep into a more contested 3. What even is this? Can somebody please tell me why this even happened? Why did I look at this? Why did I examine this today? I was having a good day until this. This ruined my year. No, I'm playing, but this was a pretty bad play, y'all. And check this out. Kelsey Mitchell gets it. She brings it up. She comes off a screen, has a 3-point jump shot, and she misses it. That was the game for Kelsey Mitchell. She shot it 5 for 16 from the field, and if Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell are both going to have bad games, this Fever team is not going to win. You need at least one of them to show up. Aaliyah Boston, she obviously is the second best player on the team outside of Caitlin Clark, but I'm not expecting her to score that much without a Caitlin Clark on the court because of that pick and roll, and off that pick and roll, Aaliyah Boston having those open lanes. No Caitlin Clark, none of those plays. So I'm not too mad at Aaliyah Boston scoring because of the defensive attention that's swarming her. Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, those are players that you've been relying on since Caitlin Clark has been out. Now, Kelsey Mitchell has been wishy-washy, and the last game was like the first game where she was actually pretty good, but Lexi Hull has been consistent. You expect these players to give you something every single game, but they combined for a whopping 5 for 21 from the field. Lexi Hull put up a donut. You can't win a game without Caitlin Clark unless you have at least one of the two of Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull showing up. If neither of them showing up, and then you still have nobody looking for Aaliyah Boston, so she's not going to get into a groove, there's just no way you're going to win. And I want you guys to check this out. Off this pick and roll, notice how Sydney Colton takes the lane that would usually be given to Aaliyah Boston here. Instead of going to your right like Caitlin Clark would, allowing Aaliyah Boston to have the lane to cut, instead she goes and takes that lane for Aaliyah, so Aaliyah is like kind of iced out of the pick and roll, and then you go down to Natasha Howard, she kind of gets smothered down there. You find Lexi Hull open on the 3-point line, and she just missed. She was not hitting in this game. She was not a factor in this game. Kelsey Mitchell wasn't a factor in this game. I just talked about it, man. These two players, they have to show up. If they're not showing up, you're not going to win. And I don't know what this is by Kelsey Mitchell. I don't know what she's trying to do here. But she gets swatted. That's just bad basketball. She was not in a groove. I'm just showing these clips to show you that Kelsey Mitchell was not a factor in this game. And the thing is, and we talked about it in the live earlier, Kelsey Mitchell is best when she's playing off ball. She's best when she's shooting it off the catch or off the backdoor cut. She's not good when you give her the ball and make her go dribble, ISO. That's the Kelsey Mitchell you had before Caitlin Clark, and that's the Kelsey Mitchell with bad field goal percentage. That's the Kelsey Mitchell that nobody wants to see. The Kelsey Mitchell we want to see is the Kelsey Mitchell that plays with Caitlin Clark, so you got to kind of give her the benefit of the doubt, because if you're like, why is she playing the way she was playing last year? Well, Kelsey Mitchell at her best last year, go watch my old videos. It was all her getting the ball off the catch. They were catch and shoot three-point shots or backdoor cuts. Caitlin Clark was finding her. That's how she was scoring 30. She's not scoring 30 off dribble ISO. So even though I'm like, you got to be better, and she should be making some of these shots because she's a professional and she's one of the best shot makers in the WNBA, she's still missing them, and a lot of it has to do with Caitlin Clark not being there. And look at this. Erin McDonald is actually trying to get the ball to Aaliyah Boston in a favorable position on this play. So there were times where they did try to go to her, but look at the defensive help coming to swarm her. And even though she probably could have got a good shot up here, she's not able to because that's really good defense from Brionna Jones. So they put that defense on Aaliyah Boston. Even though Aaliyah Boston didn't have a big game, I just want to keep stressing the fact that Aaliyah Boston was not the reason for the loss. There's only so much Aaliyah Boston can do without Caitlin Clark out there. All the defensive attention is on her down low in that paint. They know she is the biggest threat. They're sending all the bodies towards her, and there's no one to pull any of that gravity away from her like a Caitlin Clark. So Aaliyah Boston is getting swarmed down there. It's not working out, and this is a turnover. But they did try to go to her sometimes, but it's not going to work unless you have some of the defensive attention coming away from Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark is the only player on the Fever who can do that effectively. And off that play, look what happens on the other end. Look at this defense from Natasha Howard, allowing Brionna Jones to get this wide open layup. She's not even there. People keep telling me that Natasha Howard is not a bad defender. I keep picking on her because of her interior defense, and I have people who say, no, she's not a bad interior defender. You are on some type of crack, because this is what I see with Natasha Howard. I know she makes some good defensive plays when it comes to help defense, when it comes to perimeter defense, but when it comes to interior defense, this is what I see. When I dream at night, I have nightmares because I wake up seeing this. That is in my nightmares. That is some of the worst defense ever. She's just there, but she's not there. It's like she is right in front of the offensive player, but she's nowhere to be found. This is the worst kind of defense because you're there, but your presence makes no impact. And look at this next play. The guard misses the layup in transition, but look at Brionna Jones getting this offensive rebound, missing the first attempt, getting it again, making a second attempt. What kind of defense is this? You got so many Fever players down there, and you're not able to get the offensive rebound. I keep telling you guys, and I'm not going to stop beating this dead horse until we see change. Every single time the Fever play a big of any skill level, we make them look like Yao Ming. We make them look like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Shaquille O'Neal, Nikola Jokic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Literally name any big man. That's who we're making these players look like. The interior defense is so bad. It's literally awful. Some of the worst interior defense I've ever seen in my entire life. Yo, what is this defense? What is this defense? You find Brittney Griner down there, and like no one is there. Damaris Donis is right there, but she's nowhere to be found. Like, what is this defense? You have players in the paint that are making no impact on the offensive big man. This is some of the worst defense I've genuinely ever seen. Like, you are a professional basketball league. You produce professional basketball players, and these are the caliber of your players, allowing other players to get wide open layups. I could make those layups. You could put me out there right now against this Indiana Fever team, and I could have scored 10 points because I know how to make a layup. I do. This is not good defense. This is not professional basketball. This is shameful. Shameful, and it's embarrassing. Y'all, it's play after play after play after play. Look at Ryan Howard finding this player cutting, gets a wide open lane. We are doing nothing to contest these shots. We're allowing these players to get right behind us, get easy layups. This is embarrassing. It truly is. It's embarrassing. I don't like coming on here complaining. I like being excited. I like when Caitlin Clark, does crazy things. I like when Kelsey Mitchell's shot is looking pure. But this right here is embarrassing, and it's worth a crash out because this is the worst defense I think I've seen of a team ever. This is the worst interior defense I've seen from the Indiana Fever all year. It's worse than anything I've seen last year, and I haven't seen any basketball worse than WNBA basketball. So this is definitely the worst interior defense I've ever seen. Now, this right here is embarrassing, but not just for the Fever, because you did turn over the basketball. You're allowing the other team to get a wide open layup, but Ryan Howard misses this layup. They get another attempt. They miss that layup. This is embarrassing. Honestly embarrassing on both sides. You're turning over the basketball, allowing them to get out in transition, and professional basketball players are missing wide open layups. This is something you see all the time in the WNBA. You see missed layups in the NBA too, but it's so rare and it's on such a small scale. In the WNBA, you'll see multiple missed layups in a game. Multiple missed wide open bunnies 2 times in a row. Get a rebound, miss again. Just some horrible basketball from a lot of these WNBA players. This product has got to get better. You have to be better if you're going to represent women at the highest level. Women playing basketball at the highest level are represented by these players, and this is what you get on a night-to-night basis. And look at some more of this. Lexie Hull just getting blown by. Easy layup at the cup. This is just horrible defense. Horrible defense. Like, you got to come help. You got to rotate. Do something. If Lexie Hull gets blown by, she shouldn't be getting blown by here. Like, come on. This player has been shooting layups all game. Step back a little bit. Don't let him blow by you. But if you get blown by, somebody come and help. Somebody come and help Lexie Hull here and then rotate. Somebody else rotates. That's how you play defense. Good teams communicate. They rotate. They help. That is how you get stops. No one player is going to be able to stop a Brianna Jones or a Brittany Griner, especially with the personnel you have on the Fever. A lot of your players are weak interior-wise. Cool. What you need to do is double team. When I say double team, I don't mean double team, pack the paint, and leave three-point players wide open. I mean double team and then rotate. Rotate. Get back. That's all you have to do. And this stretch for the Fever was just disgusting, man. What is this play we're getting? What is this DeWanna Bonner? What are we doing here? Like, I just don't know. And I'm not here to blame DeWanna for the loss. I mean, you know, she was DeWanna. What we've kind of expected from her so far this season is just to kind of not be what she was last year, just to kind of be a role player that isn't really anything special. But this is just, I don't know. This is what we're going to on offense. On defense, we're allowing the other team to get wide open layups. It's a really bad look. For everybody saying the Fever look better without Caitlin Clark on the floor, yeah. You're being delusional. I know we won a big game against the Chicago Sky, but that game said more about the Sky than it said about the Fever because this team is not very good. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they do play well. Sometimes they do play with effort. But sometimes when you play against the right type of team with the right type of big man, this team just falls apart. And look at this. To end the third quarter, you find Jonquel Jones on the low post, and she makes the layup. No defense is there. Damaris Dantas is there, but Damaris Dantas is nowhere to be found. It's just that kind of thing going on here, and that's where I'm going to end off the video because this is exactly what happened for the remainder of this game. There's no more to look at. It's literally the same thing. I did get more film. I got more clips, but it's just no reason to go over them because it's going to be the same thing every single play. We have players in the paint. They're to play defense, but they're not playing any defense. It's some of the worst basketball I genuinely have ever seen. This is just horrible basketball, and the Indiana Fever have to do better. I'm hoping Caitlin Clark can be back on Saturday because that would be perfect because Caitlin Clark is the kind of player that can take a team at 0 to hero. So she is going to help this team tremendously when she gets back out there. Mind you, against the New York Liberty, when Caitlin Clark was out there, they did only lose by 2 points. So hopefully if she can get back on Saturday, we could probably compete and possibly win in that game. Because then you're going to unlock Aaliyah Boston with Caitlin Clark being out there, and it'll be great. But, you know, she might still be injured, and if she is injured, she needs to stay out. You know, we want her to stay healthy. She obviously is the cash cow of the WNBA. She's the reason anybody's even watching at this point. If she comes back, it will be good for this team, but if she is injured, you want her to stay out. But I think she's going to be pretty driven to come back, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the front office to allow her to play because she's probably going to want to play on Saturday. After this game, she's going to want to come out and help this team. I'm sure she is as the highest competitor. I would want to. You would want to. I'm sure Caitlin Clark does too. But that's where I'm going to end off this breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. And once again, thank you to everybody who pulled up to the watch party. It was great. We're going to do it again soon. It won't be this Saturday because I do have to work. But the next Fever game after that, the goal is to be able to live stream that game. So hopefully we can consistently do that for the rest of the year, and it'll be fun. I like doing the watch parties, just chilling out with you guys and hearing what you got to say. It was pretty cool. But that's where I'm getting off this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did, man. Peace out.